Dad texted, "Be the bigger man," after they stole my gift from my sister, but the envelope they mailed me felt like a threat. Hi, I'm Alex, 30, and 3 nights ago my dad handed my sister my birthday present in front of everyone, still wrapped with my name on the card. "Okay, birthday boy," he said, holding it up like a game show prize, "but I think Emma should open this one." Laughter, smiles, my mom sipping her wine like this was all perfectly normal, and Emma, my little sister, already giggling, hands outstretched like she couldn't wait to unwrap what was clearly mine. It was silver wrapping paper, the kind Mom always used, curly ribbon, white envelope taped to the top with my name in her handwriting. "To Alex, happy 30th. We're so proud of you." That's what the card said for maybe half a second before Emma ripped it open and screamed, "Oh my God, no way, no way!" She held up a Toyota key fob like she'd won the lottery. My dad? He did this dumb, surprised face like, "Oh wow, guess it's yours now." Everyone clapped. My uncle made a car joke. My mom beamed and said, "Alex already has a car. Emma needs one. You know how dangerous it is taking the bus at night." And I sat there, staring at the card on the floor like it might still be mine. They'd literally re-gifted my present in front of me. No apology, no shame, just, "You're 30, birthdays don't matter." That night, I drove home in my rusted, wheezing Honda, same one I'd kept alive with junkyard parts since college, and quietly canceled the $18,000 Spain trip I'd booked for my parents' 40th anniversary. I'd booked it under Mom's email months ago so she could see the itinerary as I planned it. The cancellation confirmation landed there before I got home. I didn't say anything, didn't reply to the first text or the second, or the group chat. I just sat there in my kitchen, lights off, watching the cursor hover over my banking app. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't about a car. This wasn't even about my birthday. It was about finally realizing that for 30 years, I'd been the backup plan, the fixer, the default adult, the family ATM. And I was done. The next morning, I woke up to a missed call from Mom, 2 from Dad, and a wall of texts in the family group chat. Mom: "Alex, what did you do? The Spain trip got canceled. I'm assuming this is a mistake." Dad: "Call me." Emma: "Dude, what's going on? Mom's crying." Then the group message exploded. Dad: "You canceled our anniversary trip over a car?" Mom: "That wasn't even your car. We were giving Emma a gift. You already have everything." Emma: "Wow, way to punish everyone because you didn't get what you wanted. Real mature." I didn't respond, not right away. I sat in silence, letting the weight of their reactions land and pass. I made coffee, fed my cat, checked my email. The cancellation confirmation was sitting there, clean and final. I reread it twice just to ground myself. Your trip to Spain has been canceled. Refund $18,047.62. Then I opened the group chat and typed slowly, "Me. I canceled a trip I paid for that you didn't know existed, after realizing I'm not comfortable making big sacrifices for people who think my needs don't matter. You re-gifted my birthday present. I'm choosing not to fund luxury vacations anymore. That's all." Silence for 5 minutes. Then the guilt parade began. "Mom, you're being dramatic. We gave you everything when you were little. This is how you repay us?" Dad: "You're acting like a stranger. We're your parents. It's our right to decide who needs what." Emma: "Wow, way to punish everyone because you didn't get what you wanted. Real mature." Need family? I stared at that line. The absurdity of it. I hadn't needed anything from them since I was 17. They'd needed me again and again, and I'd shown up every time. But suddenly I was selfish for not smiling while they handed my keys to someone else? I muted the chat, opened my banking app, removed their names from my saved payees, canceled the $400 auto transfer I'd been sending since Dad's overtime got cut, and then I sat back in my chair and let it sink in. No dramatic blow-up, no angry call, just click, click, click. Quiet freedom. 3 days later, I got an envelope in the mail. No return address, but I recognized Mom's handwriting instantly. Inside, a printed photo of the Spain itinerary I'd sent them months ago, back when I'd started planning. I'd written, "Can't wait to show you this in June," in the corner. Below that, in red pen, Mom had written, "Guess we won't be needing this anymore." No love, no let's talk, just that. I stared at it for a full minute. Then I flipped it over. Nothing, just blank. That night, I went out to the garage and sat in my Honda, still running on 3.5 working cylinders and a prayer. The check engine light flickered like it was rolling its eyes at me. I'd bought this car used at 19 with money saved from campus IT gigs and skipped lunches. It smelled like solder and old fast food. The air vents coughed when you turned them on. But it was mine. No one had handed me keys, no one had wrapped it in a bow, and sure, I'd cursed at it more times than I could count, but this car never pretended to be anything but what it was, held together by effort, not favors. I sat behind the wheel and made a choice. It wasn't about revenge anymore. It wasn't about making them feel what I felt. It was about not waiting for people who would never meet me where I stood. The next morning, I emailed HR and scheduled time off for late summer, not to Spain, for me. Just me. Ireland, 7 nights, a small Airbnb near the water. No itinerary, no fancy hotels, no group tours. I booked the flights, economy seat, middle row, didn't care. I hit confirm with the same feeling I imagined Emma had peeling back that silver paper, a burst of something like joy. Then I did the unthinkable. I posted a picture of my confirmation email to Instagram, just the top half. My name, the word Ireland, the dates. No caption, no explanation. An hour later, Emma texted. "Emma, you're going to Ireland alone? That's so dramatic." Me, "It's just a vacation, for me." Emma, "With the money from our trip?" "From my trip. You never knew about it. You were never invited." I thought that would be the end of it, but then she sent, "So that's it? You're just done with all of us?" I stared at the blinking cursor. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel guilty. Just clear. Me, not done, just finally prioritizing myself. A week after the Spain fallout, Dad tried calling again, then texting. "Dad, let's be real. You made your point. Time to move on." Dad, "We don't hold grudges in this family. Be the bigger man." Dad, "Emma's still upset. You know she's sensitive. Was it worth it?" And there it was, the bigger man, my lifelong job title, family code for shut up and fix it. I didn't answer. Instead, I went car shopping. It wasn't impulsive. I'd been planning it in the back of my mind for a year. Not a brand new car, not something flashy, just something reliable that didn't sound like a lawnmower in distress. At the dealership, I test drove a used hybrid. Quiet, clean, 10 years newer than my Honda. The sales guy asked if I wanted to wait to talk it over with family. "Nope," I said, "just me." He blinked like that wasn't normal, but we did the paperwork. I signed in 3 places, transferred the down payment, half of it from the Spain refund. When he handed me the keys, I sat in the car and just breathed. No speeches, no banner, no someone else getting credit for something I'd worked for. Just me, sitting in a car I chose, paid for, and didn't have to share. That night, I drove to the grocery store, windows down. The silence of a working engine felt sacred. I bought myself a steak, a bottle of wine, and the nice brand of dish soap. At checkout, the total was higher than usual. I didn't flinch. Not because I'm rich, because I'd finally stopped leaking money into a black hole of emotional IOUs. I went home, cooked dinner, opened the wine, and sat on my balcony while the sun dipped below the buildings. Mid-bite, my phone buzzed. "Emma, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it to go that far. I just really needed a win." I stared at it for a long moment, then typed back. Me, "I know, I hope it feels like a win, but I won't pay the price for it anymore." She didn't reply, and I didn't need her to. 2 months later, I was sitting in the break room at work when I got the email. Subject line, "Just checking in, love, Mom." I almost didn't open it, but curiosity wins, it always does. Inside was a weird mix of apology and resume. She wrote about how hard things had been lately. Dad's back was acting up again. Emma had moved out and was learning how hard the real world is. Their electric bill spiked. Insurance premiums had gone up. Then came the turn. We know things got tense after your birthday, and maybe we didn't handle it perfectly, but we've always done our best. You know we love you, and love means helping each other, even when things get hard. I leaned back in my chair, read that line again. Even when things get hard. I knew what was coming before I scrolled. I hate to ask, but if there's any way you could help us with this month's mortgage, we'd really appreciate it. It's just a rough patch. We'll make it up to you when we can. There it was, the old pattern, dressed up with some extra sugar. But it wasn't sweet, it was suffocating. I didn't reply, not that day. Instead, I forwarded the email to my therapist along with one sentence. Am I crazy for feeling nothing but tired when I read this? She called me during lunch. No, Alex, she said. You're not crazy. You're just finally not falling for it. It felt like someone cracked a window open in my brain. That night, I wrote my reply. I kept it simple. Hi, Mom. I appreciate you reaching out, but I need you to hear me clearly. I can't keep being your emergency plan. This isn't about punishing anyone. It's about protecting myself. I love you. That hasn't changed, but my answer to money requests is no. I hope you can respect that. If not, I still won't change it. Love, Alex. I hit send and felt my chest unclench. A day passed, then two, then a new email came through, shorter this time. We see where you stand. It's disappointing, but fine. Take care of yourself. Mom. That disappointing cut deep, but not as deep as it used to. Because for once, I wasn't scrambling to prove I was a good son. I wasn't rushing to clean up someone else's mess just so they'd stop being mad. I was just living, paying my rent, driving my car, eating food I liked with money I earned. It was a quiet kind of joy. Not dramatic, not Instagram-worthy, but real. And then, something happened that no one in my family expected. Emma got a job. A real one. Full-time, entry-level marketing role at a local startup. She didn't text me when she got it. I found out through her Instagram story, a blurry selfie in an office chair captioned, "Corporate Baddie Era Unlocked." She also posted a pic of her car with the caption, "Shout out to the miracle that still runs." I chuckled. It looked like someone had hit the passenger door with a shopping cart twice. A few days later, she broke the silence. Emma, hey, I paid rent on time, got my own groceries. This adulthood thing sucks. Me, it gets better once you stop expecting it to not suck. Emma, whoa, whatever, wise elder. Me, welcome to the club. We didn't talk about the car, or the birthday, or the trip, but we were talking, and for once, it didn't feel like the conversation came with a price tag. About 3 months after the birthday fiasco, I got invited to dinner. Not from Mom, not from Dad, from Emma. Just pizza and beer, she wrote. No drama, no guilt, swear on my junky little car. I hesitated for a day before replying. Then, fine, but I'm bringing the good beer. You're feeding me cardboard unless I intervene. Emma, rude, accurate. She lived in a shared townhouse now with 2 roommates she described as borderline feral but good at dishes. I pulled up around 6. Her Corolla was parked on the curb, looking even more sun-faded than before. She opened the door in socks and a messy bun, flour on her shirt, and blinked at the 6-pack in my hand. I said beer, not a TED Talk in liquid form. It was on sale, I shrugged, like your taste in crusts. The pizza was fine, the beer was cold, and for the first half hour, we talked about everything but family. Work, her weird boss, my weird client, a dog that kept escaping down her street, her roommate's failed attempt to start a mushroom farm in the pantry. And then, somewhere between slice 3 and 4, she got quiet. You know I didn't mean for that night to go down like it did, she said. The birthday. I was excited. I thought maybe you were in on it. In on what? I asked. Like, maybe you gave it to me on purpose, that you were trying to surprise me or something. I didn't realize the card was actually real until I saw your face. I took a long sip of beer. Did it occur to you to stop opening it? She winced. No, and that's on me. I guess I grew up thinking it was normal for you to have less, that you didn't need anything because you always acted like you didn't. I didn't say anything. Let her sit with that. I'm not apologizing because I feel bad now, she said. I'm apologizing because I've been thinking about it for months and I still feel bad. That's different, right? Very different, I said quietly. She nodded. Mom still doesn't get it. Dad either. They think you're just mad about a car. But I'm starting to see it wasn't about the car or the Spain trip. It was about how they always saw you as fine just because you didn't complain. That's not an apology, I said. She looked up and for the first time in a long time, didn't flinch. I'm sorry, Alex, for the car, for not asking, for treating your help like a vending machine. I felt something in my chest ease, not vanish, but shift. I forgive you. Just don't ask me for money. She laughed, loud and unfiltered. God, no. I had to pay $140 for a headlight last week. I practically needed CPR. We clinked bottles. At the end of the night, she walked me to the door. Hey, she said, serious again. Are you going to talk to them? I paused. Maybe, but not until they stop talking at me. She nodded slowly. Fair. We hugged. Not long, not dramatic, just enough. I got in my hybrid and drove home in silence, the kind that didn't feel empty anymore. It was December when Dad finally cracked. Not a full apology, not some hallmark moment, just a voicemail that landed in the middle of my workday like a brick thrown through a window. Hey son, thought maybe we could grab a coffee sometime. No pressure, just want to catch up. No mention of Spain, no mention of the car, but the tone, soft, a little hoarse, wasn't angry. It was tired. I let it sit for a few hours. Then I texted back. Me. Okay. Saturday, 10 a.m. That diner by the hardware store. He replied with a thumbs up emoji. First time I'd seen him use one. Felt weird. Saturday came, and I got there early. Nerves had me stirring my coffee for no reason. Dad showed up in his old factory jacket, moving slower than I remembered. He sat down across from me, took off his hat, and for the first minute we just stared at the table. Then he said, "You look good." "I look tired," I replied. He chuckled. "Yeah, well, life's heavier than it used to be." Silence. Then he looked up. "Your mom's mad I reached out." "Why?" "She thinks if we talk, she'll lose the fight." "Is it a fight?" He sighed. "It turned into one." The waitress came by. He ordered black coffee and nothing else. She gave him the kind of look you give someone running on fumes. "I've been thinking about what you said in that email about not being the emergency fund anymore." I waited. "I didn't realize how much we relied on you, because you never made a big deal of it. I guess we told ourselves you were fine with it, or at least you'd tell us if you weren't." "That's the problem," I said quietly. "I did."
You just didn't like the way I said it, he nodded. Your mom, she still thinks you overreacted, but me, I see it now. We were lazy with our love. You made life easier, and we let it happen. My throat went tight. I'm not asking you to go back to how things were, he said. Hell, I don't think you could, even if you wanted to. But I'd like to be your dad again. Not just the guy who calls when the roof leaks. I stared at him. This man who'd lectured me about loans and told me to suck it up more times than I could count, now sitting here looking 10 years older than he did last summer. "You can be my dad," I said, "but I'm not your bank, I'm not your fixer, I'm not the backup plan when Emma stumbles." "Deal," he said. Then, after a beat, "She's doing all right, you know, saving up to move into her own place. Said she wants a better job by next year." I smiled. "That's good. Maybe we didn't screw everything up." "Only about 60%, I said. He laughed, and it wasn't forced. When we finished our coffee, he insisted on paying, pulled out cash, left a tip. At the door, he stopped. "Hey, if you ever want to try Spain again, with someone who appreciates it." I didn't answer right away, just held his eyes. "Maybe," I said, "but only if you let me drive." He nodded. "You always were the one holding the map." We shook hands. No hug, not yet. But it felt like something was finally starting. 6 months later, I was back at that same diner, different reason this time. Brunch with both my parents. It had taken a while to get there. After that coffee with Dad, things thawed slowly. Mom stayed stubborn at first, kept texting me news articles about forgiveness and sending passive-aggressive memes like "families are forever, even when they're ungrateful." I ignored most of it, not out of malice, just fatigue. I'd already said everything I needed to say. Eventually, she gave up the guilt campaign and sent a one-liner, "I miss you. Can we talk?" So we did, over the phone, then in person. It wasn't easy. She cried. I didn't. She brought up my childhood, the sacrifices they made, all the ways they tried their best. I let her. I didn't argue. When she finished, I said, "Trying your best doesn't mean you didn't still hurt someone." That quieted her. To her credit, she didn't snap back. She didn't say I was being dramatic. She just nodded, slowly, and said, "I never wanted you to feel used." "I know," I said, "but I did for a long time." From there, things didn't magically heal. They just reset. No more money talk, no veiled expectations, no sudden Venmo requests just until Friday. Now we see each other on weekends. Dinner at restaurants, split checks, sometimes shared dessert. Emma's still grinding at her job, working on a new certification course. She hasn't asked me for a cent. She sends me dumb memes and once mailed me a keychain shaped like a tiny wrench. "For your next miracle car," the note said. We're not best friends, but we're okay. And me? I used the rest of that Spain refund on something small and selfish. A new mattress, a weekend trip to a cabin with no Wi-Fi, a pair of noise-canceling headphones that make the city disappear, and finally, a passport stamp. Not for Spain, not yet. This fall, I went to Ireland, alone. Wandered the streets of Galway, ate fresh bread with sea salt butter, took a train through green hills I'd only ever seen on postcards. No expectations, no itinerary, just me in a place that asked for nothing and gave me silence in return. On the last day, I sat by a cliff overlooking the sea, wind in my hair, coffee in my hands, and thought about how far I'd come from that silver-wrapped box and the Toyota key inside. I used to think being the responsible one meant always saying yes, always giving, always sacrificing. Now I know better. It means knowing your limit, saying no without guilt, and choosing peace over approval. Birthdays still don't matter much to them, but mine? I spent this one in Ireland, alone, content.
A lot lighter. And finally free.